TGCRequiem here. We are playing Mardu Pyromancer. This is roughly as best as we can guess at the moment. The deck that Jerry Thompson just top 8'd the PT with. And it seems like Jerry Thompson's running some collective brutalities over Monastery Swiftspears, so that's kind of what I've done. It looks like we got Lantern. But we'll see how this goes. Don't know again the exact list that we are playing against, or playing that Jerry's playing with. So we're just trying to like get a feel for this deck, see what it can do. I think we want that Faithless Looting. Just gonna go ahead and start with a Inquisition. Good thing we did that. I'm gonna get rid of the Whir here so they can't go get a bridge on us too soon. Pretty weak game one. I think they probably take the Young Pyromancer here. So again, pretty much in the main board, we do have some reach. We can kind of just throw at our opponent. Opponent did play a Botanical Sanctum, which we knew they were going to draw. Probably just Faithless Looting. Thoughtseize is fine. It takes the Thoughtseize. And we're not, well, Reveler's still pretty good, actually. Could pitch a land. I think we could. I think we want this burn, so I think we're just going to pitch the Thoughtseize and we're going to pitch the Marsh Flats. Start to point some damage upstairs. I'll play the Foundry out in case we draw into a Lingering Souls. Excuse me. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. They pitch a Lightning, we're still 1 land away. Both cards the opponent has in hand. They have another Thoughtseize. Thankfully we have another Bedlam Reveler. We really do need like an extra land at this point though. Opponent's gonna wait to guarantee that they can get that Reveler, which is fine with us because we already have 3 in hand. So we're just going to pass here. That Blood Crypt, we'll actually end up casting the Burst Lightning in response to the Thoughtseize to get a couple points of damage in. And then that'll allow us to cast one of these Revelers next turn and kind of reload our hand a little bit. And I mean, I'm gonna note I am not an expert with this deck. Just trying to get a feel for it. Being a relatively new deck, but I thought some of you might appreciate that as well. I don't think there's a whole lot of point in holding on to the burst lightning to try and get the thicker damage. So they're just holding on. Really, they're probably looking to thought seize whatever we draw. So they know we have the revelers. They're wanting to get like oh yeah, and that is unfortunate. We're kind of in a position where we couldn't do a whole lot. We just need one reveler. We have to discard. We do have to discard our hand with reveler when we draw the 3. So they're hoping to maybe. Oh, they're holding on to those thought seizes to protect something. Excuse me. We're going to get a swamp here just to start to protect against a possible, with a blood moon rather. We can cast a blood moon. Actually, there's one on top of our library right now. Kind of lock our opponent out of potentially worrying. But we're definitely pitching the terminate, and I think we just pitch a mountain here. If they make us discard the Lingering Souls, we can Blood Moon and Lingering Souls the following turn. Otherwise, we can Lingering Souls twice. We want the extra swamp to go with Blood Moon. They still have that second Thought Seize, I believe. May want to run it out right now to get that Lingering Souls. Otherwise, we represent a 2-turn clock versus like a 3-turn clock. Possible we're still representing a 2-turn clock, but we get to cast both halves of Lingering Souls, it's definitely a turn clock. Otherwise, we're looking at maybe 3 to 4 right now. Alright. So swing in here for 5. Oh, but the opponent does not draw a word this turn. Oh, so here's the thing. They're going to be able to draw a word now on my turn. And they will be able to cast it before combat. We just try and jam our creatures here. Hopefully they let us get to combat. Alright, so we're going to get bridged out here. Our opponent doesn't have any mill rocks yet, so we still have a chance with this Faithless Looting to draw like a Collected Company, or we do have quite a bit of burn in the deck. We're not out of it. We're not going to cast the Thoughtseize. We want to have something to discard to Faithless Looting. They may crack a Lantern to make us shuffle. And Pyromancer, definitely a lot less threatening than a Faithless Looting that we could cast twice. No reason to not run out the Pyromancer here. Academy Ruins will allow them to reset a Bauble if they wanted, or another Lantern, so they could keep causing us to reshuffle. But as it is right now, they would have to use their Lantern to have us shuffle away the Bedlam Reveler, which they probably want to do because draw 3 is not good for them, especially with all the burn we have. But it really does have to pitch the Lantern here. Now, we don't know what's on top of either library. They'll probably return the Academy Ruins to the top of the library at the next draw. Brutality is pretty good. We know what they had on top, and they're probably going to recycle one of these cards. I think we can actually hold on to Brutality for a turn. Presumably they put a Lantern on top. That way they can play the Lantern and control our shuffle again. Of course, they don't know that we drew a Collective Brutality. They're more than willing to let us draw this land. But with them only having that one spell, right, so they're going to have to make us shuffle again here. Grafdigger's Cage isn't going to stop us from doing what we want to do. Again, they're going to have to sack this Lantern to make us shuffle again. Presumably they'll put their Lantern on top again, giving them yet another shot. But we will be able to shuffle if the Lantern doesn't set us on a card that wins. Alright, so they play the Lantern. Faithless Looting is a great draw for us. We're absolutely going to draw that. They do have to crack the Lantern again here. Alright, so we're going to draw 2, discard 2. We're going to discard Thoughtseize and Inquisition. We're going to Blood Moon. That's going to lock them out of their Lantern. I don't really think there's a whole lot of reason why we need to crack the Bloodstained Mire here. Suppose we also could just go for the Faithless Looting again. Maybe we do. Maybe we just Bloodstained Mire, go for another Faithless Looting. No, I think the Blood Moon, they've got too much control right now. We can always Faithless Looting next turn. I guess we can't Faithless Looting next turn, so maybe that's a little bit of a mistake on my part. I have the Graph Digger's Cage. But they don't have blue, so they can't whir. So we're basically just drawing into a Kolaghan's Commandery sort of burn spell. No, they have the Lantern, so we actually can Faithless Looting. That's right, they put the Lantern on top. So we may actually get a chance here. We're gonna fetch that away. We can't fetch it away. Shoot. Alright, so Faithless Looting. Get us some burn or another Faithless Looting. Then we will flashback Faithless Looting. I have to make a shuffle now because that bolt is lethal. Oh, but we have to discard too. So what a... I guess that doesn't really help. What a mistake. What a mistake. So really we should have held down the Collective Brutality. I guess because we're going to have Graph Digger's Cage, we wouldn't have been able to do it. If we had held on to that Collective Brutality a little bit longer, knowing what was on top, we would have been able to bolt our opponent there for the win. So that was a misplay on my part for sure. Tough deck to play against. I'm going to hold this in hand just in case our opponent gets a Thoughtseize. And cast Thoughtseize here. We have a lot of live draws. Opponent probably stuck on like a whir. That should do it. Destroy target artifact. And 2 damage to the opponent should be a win. Alright, so on to the sideboard. Yeah, I definitely shouldn't have cast the Collective Brutality. They're really forgetting about the fact that it's at best card neutral, but typically card disadvantage with Faithless Looting. We on the draw here. Combo. Cast a non-creature spell, so that seems pretty good. I think we definitely want the Wear Tears. Collective Brutality is further reach. We could Pithing Needle. Shattering Spree is certainly good. We know we want to pull out the Dreadbores, the Terminus. Honestly, the Inquisition Thoughtseizes are all pretty bad. But we need them early on. So hard to definitively say we want to take them. Let's see here. I don't really want to cut all of our direct damage. Realities are actually not as strong. Don't think we need the Forked Bolt. Burst Lightning. I think that's pretty much what we're going to run with right here. The Brutalities have the upside of hitting a more of an invention. I don't know, Pithing Needle actually seems pretty decent. We could Pithing Needle, the Codex Shredder, Lantern, this a Pandemonium. Game's gonna run a little bit longer. Maybe willing to shave on a fetch or so. Problem is that the combos are not great with Blood Moon. Blood Moon. Probably better to keep the Blood Moon in and cut the Pyromancer, but I don't want to get completely stuck off on these combos. Combo is actually pretty good since it's non-creature spells. I don't think this is really the hand we want to open with. Our opponent actually chose not to play first, so actually I think we do keep this. I would not have kept this on the draw, but I think on the play I'm willing to keep this. So that's fairly common for Lantern to actually let the opponent play first. Opponent's more likely to shred themselves to start. Faithless Looting here is great. And a Swamp. Ooh, man. This Blood Moon might turn out all right. Absolutely. So we're going to pitch the Lingering Souls. We could... Yeah, I really want the Blood Moon. And both Kolaghan's commands. Presuming our opponent goes Ancient Stirrings Codex Shredder again next turn. We lock him off colored mana. I think that's what we want to do. Just fetch for another swamp. Inventor's Fair won't even gain them life. Yeah, this looks great. Unable to cast that Ancient Stirrings nor their Ancient Stirrings on top of the library. They're gonna mill their own away. Pyroclasm's good. Gotta think maybe they'll mill that away. They may try and keep it because of Lingering Souls. We are a token-based strategy, so that makes sense. We'll be able to Collective Brutality that out of their hand, however. Yeah, they get rid of it. And we're sitting on a couple Kolaghan's commands. They don't have any way to cast like a Thought Seize or anything to that effect. Totally fine with this. Getting rid of that. We're in really strong position here. Question here I have is whether it's better to go after their lantern or their mill rocks, or just hold the Kolaghan's command for now. We actually just go ahead and start pinging our opponent. We're kind of in a position, and our opponent can't really do anything right now. Next turn we'll be in a position where we can bolt and Kolaghan's command to do 2 damage. Again, they're kind of racing. That opal is probably a good draw for them. That allows them to cast their Ancient Stirrings, but again, we have 2k commands in hand. Ooh. $1k command in hand. Do know it's on top of our opponent's library, but they certainly can manipulate that some. I think we just go ahead and cast out a Souls here, though. Start to get some aggressive beats, and then we'll just bolt our. They have an Ancient Stirrings. That Ancient Stirrings isn't going to get them. The best thing they could do here is Codex Shredder themselves into another hand disruption spell. Nice thing here is if they find a bridge, they do have the welding jar. Possible we should have gone after Lantern because it does reduce their ability to control their own draws. If we made a mistake so far, that is it. I think we're actually just going to go after the Lantern now. Again, they're going to have to get rid of this welding jar to protect something. Have a Faithless Looting already. We have a couple. If we can remove their ability to protect themselves or kind of manipulate their own draws, maybe we can close it out before they draw a key spell. But again, we have several lootings here. While they have the chance, looks like maybe they're gonna let the hand draw, but yeah, so it looks like they're gonna let the Lantern get destroyed, and they're just gonna try and fix their draws before they do so. That Grafdigger's Cage is pretty great. I would actually probably Welding Jar now. Yep. So now that they got the Grafdigger's Cage, that's going to shut off our Faithless Looting. They can try and control us. We're in this weird sort of spot where they almost have us locked. Not quite. And we have quite a few artifact destruction spells. I actually milled the Grafdigger's Cage, so that's going to give us an extra out here with that Faithless Looting. So thankfully Blackcleave Cliffs comes in upright. And since they put Grafdigger's Cage on the bottom, I'm actually going to hold off here. I want more upside on the Faithless Looting, I think. Opponent is digging hard, probably going to move this, and they can't cast the Whir. So this will be a good spot to probably Faithless Looting. Well, I think we're kind of in the same boat. Kind of not a whole lot of reason to do this while we know there's just a mountain on top. Whir doesn't do anything for them right now, being locked on Blood Moon. The island, however, they might take, that puts them closer to being able to use a future Whir. But they're on a clock. They've only got like 3 turns. We have a lot of live draws. What do they just return to hand? Okay, so they're actually returning Ensnaring Bridge from the graveyard to hand. That's not something I was thinking about. Here comes our Ensnaring Bridge. Fortunately, I feel like we're kind of in a spot now, though, where we have a window to kind of go after this. Bedlam Reveler would even be great here. Ugh. Shattering Spree would have been great to draw. If we waited maybe one more turn, we would have gotten that. A little greedy there. For the same reason I held off before, I probably should have waited, or should have just gone for it there. Shouldn't have gone for it, rather. I could see them milling the Brutality away. But the Pixis, yeah, see Wear Tear, that's not making it into our hand. We've already got 2 Kolaghan's commands. Do have a bit of burn still. Opponent's drawing okay, the Abrupt Decay, maybe no, they still can't, they can't blow up the Blood Moon. I think if they blew up the Blood Moon, we'd probably just have to scoop up out of it. Almost seems like a fine draw. I'm in this weird spot. We're a few burn spells away. Tomball would be great, but we can't cast it. I think we're pretty much locked here. I'm trying to think how much burn we actually have. Like 2 lightning bolts. All these lands. think we're down to 2 bolts, like 1 brutality. We lose more than one more legit like quality card, we're just gonna have to scoop here, so we have time to try and get there. Actually, so that welding jar, probably game actually. Yeah, so I'm actually just gonna scoop here. I don't think we actually are gonna get there. The opponent has too much control with the 3 mill rocks and the Product Shredder. They're gonna get a welding jar, so even if we draw our answer, the ensnaring bridge, it's not gonna do anything. And if we draw, we're just, the odds of us drawing enough burn is way too small. So we should be on the play here for game 3 as well. I don't really think there's anything else that I really, other than maybe bringing a little bit of burn, but I don't think so. I think that this is still what we want. Our opponent pretty much had us locked. We had too few. Again, we only have, what, 4 lightning bolts, 3 collective brutality, and 3 Kolaghan's command, representing a max of like 6, 12. 24 burn, but we already, odds of them allowing us to get one is just way too small. This seems fine. Really want to draw. All of our answers right at the beginning anyway. We just take the opal here and kind of slow them down, I think so. Alright, so drawing the combo is great here. I think we end up pitching the Blood Moon and one of our Revelers, and then we can go get a white mana source. We're going to pitch the Fountain. Just got to dodge a Inquisition or Thoughtseize here. Inquisition really affect their ability to cast the Ensnaring Bridge. The opponent's going to lose 2 for every non-creature spell they cast, which is pretty much every spell in their deck. They have 1, 2, 3 non-creature spells. We'll get a swamp. We're careful to get our attack in with combo here before our opponent gets too low on cards. Alright, so this will allow us to cast Bedlam Reveler next turn. Opponent is in a bit of a pinch. And we just know that they have a lantern in hand. If they don't cast spells to avoid losing life, then we are able to attack with combo. Only 4 minutes on the clock. Pretty tough one here. Gotta try and make sure we can close this out quick. And what we care about is probably burn spells. The opponent can try and play lands, but that doesn't really help a ton with progressing their own game plan. Reveler's kind of perfect right there. We could cast another ball next turn. That could just close it out, potentially, even if they abrupt decay the first one. Then they're in a real tough spot. And it says whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, that player loses 2 life, so it doesn't even target. So even if they're running like 4 mana hexproof artifact, worrying for that doesn't protect them. Holding spells in hand's not going to help, as young Pyromancer is going to be able to potentially put out 1/1 tokens. When it does draw that, we're oh shoot, it's legendary. How silly of me. Oh. That makes sense. 2 of those would be too powerful. So that was actually a mistake, because combo, if they did abrupt decay, being able to cast a second one would have been huge. Silly me, silly me. This is what you get when you don't play with a deck regularly. So we're gonna cast flashback that Faithless Looting right now. Definitely want the collective brutality. Opponent is in a tough spot here. We just need to be fast. We have to get rid of everything because of the elemental. I think we cast the Lingering Souls back here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this way, they are effectively dead to even like if they draw anything that they can't cast, basically, or want to avoid casting. And we have a Wear Tear to get rid of that Ensnaring Bridge. Gonna get rid of that. Oh no, they're getting rid of their own card. Welding Jar. I can't help but feel like our opponent really just trying to put us to time at this point. I don't think they really have any outs. Trying to mill us, maybe. They're actually targeting themselves, trying to get rid of stuff. They cast this, they're gonna lose 2 life. I'm down to 1. This is pretty good. So this Bolas, not going to be able to kill us, but it's going to take us to time. That's hilarious. Yeah, so this Bolas won't be able to kill us, but it's going to be able to gain them enough life to basically take us to time, which will win them the match. So this is pretty well played by our opponent. Got to give him props. Oh no. What did they just do? They uptick. 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. I mean, they can't kill us, so we're just trying to avoid doing anything. So the opponent just kind of down ultimates Tezzeret here. Yep. So they don't kill us. They can't really kill us. Maybe they could eventually mill us out now. The opponent can get to us eventually this way. If the game were to roll the full length of time. So we could Pithing Needle Tezzeret if we had drawn that earlier, but they're gonna Pixis that away, presumably, or Codex Shred it. I mean, the opponent has us here. There's almost no way they're gonna go out on time before we do. Thing is they keep casting spells. They're getting to the point here where they actually are going to be able to finish this 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 artifacts. So if they can ultimate Tezzeret again, we will actually lose to that this time. Each one of these casts that are an artifact actually offsets the 2 life we're gaining. So close. Actually, our opponent would win this game now based on the fact that Tezzeret is going to... Actually, they're actually going to be able to kill us before we go out of time, presumably. Still, heck of a game. Hopefully you enjoyed watching. We'll just let the opponent finish this out, but Witchbane Orb is the one I was talking about earlier. It doesn't really do anything. Do the con ball. Well, heck of a match. Again, rarely is it worth sitting here the whole time playing through that whole match. Usually they got you locked and they got you locked. And it's possible I made a mistake earlier by not trying to K-command. I'm not sure if that was this game or the second game, where I should have possibly K-commanded the... Actually, I think that was the second game. Regardless, hopefully you enjoyed. Have a good one.